The event quest in Marvel Contest of Champions is going to be changing dramatically from how we see it right now, where, of course, how you break down via the different difficulties, and of course, the main one for those at Valiant. It is going to become very, very different. I'm going to now turn this over to Kabam to kind of explain a little bit more so we can explain a bit more context and also showcase what is going on with the changes.
Essentially, this is kind of what it's going to look like, right? So tell us what we got going on here.
Sure. So when you load into the EQ, you go into your typical like panel for that. And on the left side, as you open the panel, you're going to see what your current PRG is, your current top 30 prestige, and then how much Ethereum you've collected overall. There's a little toggle at the bottom to toggle between Elder and Classic once you've unlocked Elder. And basically, the first time you go into the EQ for the month, it's going to lock your current PRG and your prestige. So you want to make sure before you jump in that you're at a point that you like. We mostly decide to do this because of tech reasons.
Of course.
This becomes incredibly relevant to those that are looking to hunt for a better type of progression fighting in their event quest. So you want to be able to, first of all, you want to be able to comfortably do the content. But the second part is you want to be prepared with your prestige as high as possible. One thing I would say right now, and like one thing that I definitely need to do with before the update goes in, and forewarning to everybody, is add relics and statcasts to your top 30 champions based on prestige. So here on screen, these are my champions right here. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So you can already see, because I have not assigned relics or statcasts to Scream, Man-Thing, and who else? Jilf, and a few others, and that's because I've been grabbing them and putting them on different ones. I've been going into different content, and that's something you'll need to remember. Don't take off your... This is where I think things can be quite tricky month in, month out, because if for whatever reason 1 month you take a statcast or a relic from one champion which is kind of one in your top 30 and go, I'll put it to another one, and forget to switch it back, that could affect you if you don't switch it back up when it comes to the event or month end, so to speak, as you go into a new type of update.
Great reason to make sure things go smoothly. So as you were saying, right, these are kind of like all the rewards that you get for like all the lower difficulties. Now, this is of course a very, very high prestige account here, but just to give you an idea of what it kind of looks like if you do reach this point, to make it so EQ is going to be valuable for you. But we also have this mechanic in here where you can literally toggle through the different like prestige thresholds and like progression levels. Let's say you're Paragon, right? Or you can't go backwards. I probably should have done this opposite in hindsight, but we started Valiant, and then and then all that kind of stuff, right? But you can toggle through all the things, and it shows you like what you can gain, what you can't, all that kind of stuff. And now,
see, as we know, the devil is always in the detail, because this will impact a lot of you in different ways. It'll impact you because you don't know what's going on. Like the unknowing with this stuff and change is scary. More so when this impacts on, because you don't know what your you don't know the difficulty of the content, but secondly, the impact of your prestige to what Kabam dictate for you is either going to be correct or it's either going to be incorrect. And of course, Kabam have said here, like, prestige is the average base hero rating of your top 30 champions, and the average rating of your top 30 relics. It is used in areas of the contest to determine rewards and difficulty. Also, I should kind of like preface that when I mentioned about relics being assigned to champions, yes, that is important, but also the relics themselves have their own kind of way of kind of impacting prestige in any case. So what I'm kind of referring when I'm saying about adding relics on, it's just for an importance perspective. It doesn't really have any impact, because you kind of go like, oh, well, it's the top 30 from here, from the relic side of things, like top 30 relics. If you don't have 30 relics, then of course that creates a bit of a problem, but yeah, it's not a combined thing. It's done as two separate ones. The new system as well is going to be very different to what you've seen in the past. This Ethereum, which not to be confused with cryptocurrency Ethereum, is your means of operating like a summer of pain climb milestone, which you must remember that. If you're new to the game, you probably won't know that, but it's kind of like Oh, I'm just trying to think of something recently. It's kind of like how realm events work. Not exactly, but all the Alliance AQ kind of milestone climb stuff, and also some other stuff again, the weekly Alliance event that's in game at the moment. But you can see there's some interesting, different, and better rewards on offer for players, whether it's relics and also refined XP, which is very odd because it's like Kabam have even gone, do you know what? Not a lot of people are getting up to the higher levels because it's kind of behind a paywall to climb further, because a lot of people are on 60, I think close to 65 or over level 65. So I can imagine that's why Kabam have been putting it into the solo raids a bit more, because there's going to be people that are higher level and you're like, well, not everybody's able to get there. Anyway.
And the great part about the Elder difficulty once you unlock it is, if you go and explore a quest on Elder, it automatically explores that same associated quest in Classic. So you don't have to fully explore Classic to get all the Ethereum. If you're planning on doing Elder, you can just unlock Elder by completing Classic, and then explore Elder, and it'll auto-explore Classic, get you all the Ethereum, get you to the top milestone.
So the overall clarity, as Kabam said right there, is that you would do a completion run to kind of get yourself to Elder Gauntlet, and then you're able to go in to do Elder Gauntlet, which then auto-completes with it. I mean, it just seems like it's pretty obvious for that, but it just gives you this opportunity to kind of go, well, and again, I assume here, because it's done as chapters, you either toggle the Classic to then toggle the Elder, and then you go and do this being the Elder. This is the kind of like what the month looks like. And I think that's going to be, it's a very kind of like simplistic way of doing it, but I'm still undecided and unsure when it comes to how Kabam scan you, because that's what it is. Kabam are, in a nutshell, scanning you to go, can you be in, or should you be in the Elder difficulty, and how difficult it's going to be. Kabam even said in the live stream that those that are very, and this is what another concern that I did raise before, if you are new to Valiant, a new Valiant player, what is the difficulty curve like in scan versus reward take home to someone that is with 10 to 20 rank 4 7 stars and effectively are now referred to as the top end of Valiant, which should be given at some stage an opportunity for a new type of progression? That's my concern, right? I wouldn't say I'm a new Valiant player. I've cultivated a very good 7-star roster, but compared with other Valiants, as a non-spending player, about 7 to 8 is the chase amount of current rank for 7 stars. There's differences there from different free to play. I'm tracking very shortly a 7th rank for 7-star. I am now then going to be hopefully within the mid-September on my 8th, and then it would be like, well, they'll come thick and fast because of the way the reward structure, and even more so with Act 9.3. So I'm not going to say like I'm behind other people. Definitely from a spender's perspective, I'm massively behind. But that's another story. That's another story for another day. There ain't nothing you can do about that. You're always chasing other people to kind of like be at top of there. But that's just it for me. It's the scan, isn't it? It's like how the scan works from this perspective, and also the impact on relics and statcast and the legwork they now have to do for my roster and my prestige. Yes, it doesn't count for very much in the grand scheme of the total prestige that for the top 30 to then get myself a suitable difficulty. But the questions that I'm always going to end with the adaptive difficulty is, what am I losing out on? And that's going to be the same thing for you. The difficulty level versus what you miss out on. I think this is going to be a big discussion next week. And what you feel you've missed out on because your prestige has hampered you. Or is this meant to encourage you? We'll have to find out. That's been my 2 cents and my thoughts around adaptive difficulty, as well as bringing some extra context and how we go about doing this. But of course, the big question is going to be around rewards. And as we said, what you feel like you might miss out on as a result of your prestige potentially letting you down. And of course, if 29 30,000 prestige is enough to get these type of reward thresholds, because excessive spender gets excessive amount of rewards. Sorry, I should say, no, it's not. It's going to be a lot higher than that, because like I'm sitting on 32k. So does that mean I'm on prestige level 8 or level 9? Like, we'll find out that next week, and we'll do some reaction and kind of figure out what rewards that we get, but also lose out on as a result. Thoughts are welcomed in the comment section, and thank you very much for watching as we talk about and go over the extra context from the recent live stream, revelations, and information. Thanks for watching. See you soon, and goodbye.